I see that you have landed at the crypto matrix, which means that you have made it past bloody enemy lines. Congratulations and welcome to the crypto matrix, where I explore passive crypto income flow, then plug into them for maximum profitability. But before we go exploring, be advised, you will not find any financial advice in the crypto matrix. It is non-existent, and it will not protect you here anyways, because we are boldly going with no financial advisor days to go. No. Rumor has it that it was swallowed up by a black hole since 2009, and it hasn't been seen since then. Now, that being said, and if you're going to become owners, let's dive right into the crypto matrix.
Well, guys, I found our next exploration for you right here coming up. This one's kind of special, but at the same time, my last one I just showed you a couple of days ago. By the way, you got to get that in there if you want to be a member of that. That one was about prediction markets, right? This one just came out today. Unbelievable. This is day one right now to get into this crypto opportunity right now. It's called Orca. And they do a prediction market in a different way. They do it by arbitraging. The last one I showed you, Predictor, you are actually supplying the liquidity to the platform. Okay, so there's a difference. They go about two different ways of doing this. Two prediction programs coming out brand new right out of the gate. Check my last video. Also check my YouTube. Go to the, I got notes there for you. So go to the home page, scroll down, and you'll see the notes, okay? So let's get back here. Orca. Why, this is a little bit different. The prediction market infrastructure is the efficiency layer of, that's what they provide, the efficiency layer. Orca prediction market infrastructure operates where others can't, scanning fragmented venues, processing billions in volume to surface real executable arbitrage, powered by the Orca AI agent. Every price divergence is detected, routed, resolved continuously, verifiably, and on-chain. This is a beautiful website. I don't know if you noticed that. This is one of the best ones I've seen in a long time. This is how it's broken down. Little technical specs here. Three things that define Orca: the infrastructure, not a bot; execution over prediction; verify, don't trust. One protocol, full infrastructure. They use an OpenClaw. That's the AI that they're using to do the arbitrage. Now they're breaking down the layers. Signal, confidence, execution. Level 2, multi-signal. Level 3, smart routing and settlement. And the proof is on the on-chain transparency log. This is now they're really getting really technical here. So anyways, you can look through all this. This is a long website. Pretty long. You have a blog. See what this one, see what the bottom one is. It's lengthy. Looks like a good read there. So that's all the blog stuff, the latest news. Markets mispriced, Orca closes the gap. Prediction markets were built to aggregate information. iCloud was built to correct the inefficiencies that emerge when they operate in isolation. This isn't trading, it's infrastructure. All right, let's see what the questions are. What is Orca AI Prediction Market Agent? It's an advanced AI-driven financial infrastructure built on the open cloud open source framework. It is specifically designed to automate trading and liquidity provision across major prediction markets. By leveraging decentralized intelligence, Orca identifies and exploits market inefficiencies in real time. How does Orca generate profits? It utilizes a multi-strategy framework primarily focusing on a cross-platform arbitrage. It captures price gaps between the platforms like Polymarket and 𝗺𝗁𝗁𝗺. Additionally, the agent employs sentiment analysis and momentum trading by processing over 50,000 data points to predict market shifts before they occur. Is Orca a regulated and compliant platform? Yes, Orca operates under Orca Node Limited, a legally registered entity in Colorado, USA, incorporated in May 4th of 2026. The company has completed official filings for the SEC Regulation Form D compliance. This commitment to transparency ensures a secure environment for global users. What is the connection between Orca and the NodePay ecosystem? Orca is deeply integrated with NodePay, which serves as the market sentiment layer. NodePay provides a real-time crowd intelligence and fear and greed indices that fuel Orca's trading algorithms. The NodePay ecosystem is backed up by tier venture capital firms including ocagent Ventures, Animoca Branch, Jump Krypto, and IDG Capital, among others. Why does Orca focus on prediction markets like Polymarket and 𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁? Because markets are often inefficient due to fragmented liquidity and human emotional bias. Orca's AI agents capitalize on these inefficiencies by providing liquidity and executing trades faster than manual participants than humans. This focus allows Orca to maintain a competitive edge in a rapidly growing multi-billion-dollar sector. Yes, the predictions market is really compared to all the other markets, it's small, but it's starting to grow, as you can see from my last program that I presented to you. So it's starting to emerge now, and things are getting bigger. So you want to be in on the companies that are doing things right now, because when they get bigger and better, you're going to be making all kinds of stuff. Okay. How do I start automated trading and claim rewards? To begin, connect your Web3 wallet, deposit USDT. That's on the Binance network, by the way. The BSC network, I mean. To activate your AI agent. Once active, the agent operates 24/7, managing positions and capturing opportunities autonomously. Accumulated trading rewards are distributed directly to your dashboard and can be claimed once they reach a minimum threshold of 5 USDT. How does Orca ensure the security and transparency of user funds? Well, Orca employs a non-custodial architect, ensuring that users maintain control over their own assets through a blockchain-based percentage module management system. Rather than holding funds in a centralized pool, the AI agent operates via decentralized protocols to allocate liquidity and distribute trading revenue. That was a mouthful, wasn't it? But this site is pretty good looking, though. Got the blogs, all the information, a lot of information here, a lot of technical stuff here. You can tell they are serious what they're doing, especially the parent company that they're in and all the venture capitalists that be pouring in here. So, without further ado, what I'm going to do is, as usual, I'm going to start off a good program if I can find a meeting. I got a 30-minute presentation. Okay, I know it's going to be a long video. There's a 30-minute presentation. He breaks it all down because, like I said, there's a lot of technical stuff here on this website. And it's how to get your mind wrapped around this thing. But just listen to this. Yeah, just listen to his presentation. It's 30 minutes long. And when it's over, I come back to you.
First and foremost, Orca is a technological company that is powered by AI agent and utilizing the prediction market right now to create one thing and one thing only: profit generation. In terms of profit generation, what am I talking about? I'm talking a little bit about arbitrage opportunity. So I want you to take a look at the first column over here, which is from 2013 to 2017. Do you know what era was that? It was the golden era for Bitcoin arbitrage. Now, I'm sure most of you have already been in the market for long enough in terms of crypto or in terms of this crypto sector itself. So let me give you a very good example or a successful example, which is this one friend that we all know of called CZ, 𝗺𝗁𝗺. So this person over here, it's the founder of Binance. What did he do during 2013 to 2017? Very simple. He mortgaged his properties, took all of that liquidity, and placed it into Bitcoin. Now, if you did that, you could be a billionaire right now or potentially a very wealthy person. However, it is not nearly enough for you to actually fund Binance. So what did he do over here? Arbitrage opportunity is, in its most simplest form, is buying low and selling high. Now, I'll give you an example. Previously, during that point of time, from 2013 to 2017 itself, and a centralized exchange in America itself would be buying and selling Bitcoin at, let's say, about $9,000. All right. And a centralized exchange on Korea might be buying and selling Bitcoin at $9,100. See, there is a difference in price, am I right? Because back then, the centralized exchanges are not unified yet. So with that being said, if you were to buy from the American exchange and sell it at the Korea exchange itself, you will earn $100 for every Bitcoin that is sold. But that doesn't sound like much. But what if you had 100,000 Bitcoins? That is $10 million for every 100,000 Bitcoin being shifted over. And that is the most normal arbitrage that I'm giving an example of. Why? Because back then, if I remember correctly, American exchanges compared to a Vietnam exchange, it's almost a difference of 40%. Now, I'm not going to go into that 40% over here because why? If I ask you today, would you be able to do Bitcoin arbitrage today? The answer is sadly no. Why? Because all of the centralized exchanges have unified in terms of their pricing, not just Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, BNB, all of the tokens above. It is very, very hard for you to do a token arbitrage in this year and era. But what is the most important thing that CZ did during that time frame? It is not arbitrage. It is not buying Bitcoin. It is being an early mover in the market. And right now, crypto is currently in a bear market. However, there is a sector that is doing exceptionally well. Introducing to you the prediction market era. All right. Now, the AI agent opportunity in the prediction market. This is what our technology is about. And I'll be explaining to you the few criteria that comes with it in order for us to have this arbitrage opportunity. The calculation method will be explained later on. As of right now, the first thing that you need to know is there's two major platforms over here, Polymarket and 𝗁𝗁𝗺. So I believe all of you have already heard of this before, am I right? These two major platforms. In this prediction market itself, in this sector itself, there is almost about 10 to 15 different prediction platforms. For example, Limitless, Opinion, Gateway, there are a lot of them. However, there's only two specific prediction market platforms that are taking the whole piece of pie, Polymarket and 𝗁𝗁𝗺. And within these two platforms, there are going to be the same questions. For example, right in front of you, will Trump create a national Bitcoin reserve in 2025? Yes, this is an example that was used previously. However, as you can see, Polymarket, we're picking yes, and 𝗁𝗁, we're picking no. Don't worry about the calculation. Don't worry about anything else. I'll be explaining that later on in a few slides. All I want you to understand is this. Orca is not here to give you predictions to allow you to win big in a few trades. However, we're here to guarantee you a profit on a smaller margin, however, definite. Okay? Might not be very clear. I'll explain that to you later on, okay? Bear with me a little bit. So, why choose prediction markets? Simple. There are 4 points over here that I want to talk about. Decentralized. Why do I say it's decentralized? Today, by 2024 itself, Polymarket had almost $3.6 billion wagered on the US election itself. 𝗁𝗁 in 2025 itself has been doing almost $1 billion trade volume every single month. Why am I specifically talking about these figures? Is because compared to this amount, for example, future trading, you will be hearing it at the $1 trillion. Why? Because there is leverage. For the prediction market itself, it is a player-to-player basis. It is not a player-to-banker basis. That means every single dollar that is put in, it is absolutely a single dollar. What do I mean by that? Every single $1 billion that is put into 𝗁𝗁, it's actually $1 billion that's invested by the market into that prediction platform. That's why there is a huge opportunity over here. Why? Because if I'm looking for arbitrage opportunities, I'm going to be looking at a bigger market cap. I'm not going to be looking at it from $100,000 market cap. I'm going to be looking at it from $1 billion or even $1 trillion, which is what Bloomberg has already predicted the prediction sector to reach at $1 trillion by 2030 itself. So we are still early in this sector. Now, it has extremely broad markets. What do I mean by that? I'm not sure if you have been on a prediction platform before, but you will be able to figure out that there is not only crypto sections within prediction platforms. There are weathers, there are geopolitical questions, there are even satellite questions that could come across as a little bit of insane. For example, satellite XYZ, will it fly across Taiwan today? Yes or no? Predict. That is how crazy broad the market is within the prediction markets. All right. Now, very few competitors, as I've already mentioned, there is about 10 to 15 prediction platforms out there, but only 2 main platforms are currently taking up that opportunity, 𝗁𝗁 and Polymarket. And that's where we'll be utilizing those 2 platforms as well. I'll be explaining that a little bit more later. Massive information arbitrage opportunities comes when there is player-to-player basis. That means there is not a set amount of rules of how much you put will give you how much of a return. There is no one-to-one return. When there is more and more players that are coming in to wager on these predictions of yes and no, there is bound to be volatility. And volatility itself is where it gives us that opportunity for yield opportunities. Okay? Because of the information gap, this is exactly why now is the best time that prediction markets are replaying the early opportunities of 2013 crypto cycles. All right? Now, I'm speaking with a lot of confidence over here because of one main reason as well. NotePay. NotePay is our mother company. What do? Very simple. They collect sentiments. They collect data sentiments, for example, fear and greed of humanity, anxiety, and also, let's say, FOMO of the macro environment, and also prediction patterns as well. Why? Simply put it this way. In prediction platforms, you will need to put in a funding, USDT or even whatever currency that you will be allowed to, and then you will be able to place a wager on these questions based on yes and no. On NotePay itself, all that they are doing right now is inviting individuals to come over to their platform, sign up as a user, and answer questions on a daily basis. The data in front of you is actually not up to date. Why? From back then when we were looking at it, which was 15,000 daily active users, every individual has to answer 6 questions. That brings a total answer of 90,000 answers on a daily basis. Times that by a month, you're looking at 2.7 million. All right. So right now, the daily active users is at 19,000 people already. So imagine the amount of answers or the sample size of data that we're collecting over here. And why are we doing this? Because the larger the data volume, the higher the participation frequency, and the more active the market is, the more accurate our AI becomes at judging sentiment and probabilities. All right. This is why we're utilizing AI as well. I'll be talking about that a little bit more. The other two validation over here is on the two brackets below. I want you to focus on the right first. NotePay is here to become a prediction market platform by the end of 2026, which is this year itself. We are here to become the next 𝗺𝗁𝗺, the next poly market. All right. And with that being said, are there some fundings already? Yes, there is $7 million of fundings that has been given to NotePay to advance into a prediction market platform. $7 million might not sound that much. However, who are the ones that gave this $7 million? Let me introduce you to this article over here. By 2024 itself, December 27, NotePay has raised $7 million to grow decentralized AI infrastructures. And I want you to take note of this. The founding new strategic investors includes IDG Capital. You're looking at Elevate Ventures. You're looking at OKX Venture, which is OKX's very own VC. Mirana Labs, which is Bybit's very own venture capital, and Animoca Brand as well. These are all huge names in the markets coming from a VC standpoint. So it's not about how much money you're getting. It's about whom is giving you this money to go on to the next level. And on our mother company's platform itself, we have very strong VCs backing. Just a little bit of a showcase as well. If you were to come into NotePay, you will be able to see questions like this. Aave just crossed $1 trillion in all-time loan volume, and it took traditional fintech companies decades to reach that number. Does that milestone actually change how seriously you take DeFi lending as a long-term financial category? As you can see, there is not a yes and no answer only. There is 5 different options over here for you. Like I've mentioned, we are here to collect data sentiment. Hence why there is so many options over here. We're not here to figure out the yes and no's. We're here to figure out data sentiment based on human reactions. That's what we're doing in NotePay. Okay? Now, moving forward, I've mentioned that Orca is a tech company utilizing AI agents in prediction market. Why AI agent and which AI agent? Introducing to you OpenClaw. Now, some of you might have heard of OpenClaw before, some of you might have not. I'll just give you a simple comparison of what's so different comparing OpenClaw towards ChatGPT, shall we? ChatGPT itself is one of the strongest and most long-lasting AI platforms out there. But it is a platform that utilizes ChatGPT's very own server, and ChatGPT will never give you an answer that you are not asking for. That means you have to place a question in or some information in before you can get an answer from ChatGPT. The difference between them and OpenClaw is this. It is an autonomous AI agent. What do I mean by that? You have to utilize your very own server, number one. Number two, if let's say I have a credit card, I could give it to OpenClaw and I can allow it and ask them and just give them one simple answer and structure, which is tomorrow I need to be at Thailand by 2 p.m. OpenClaw itself will figure out the best flight for you based on your current schedule. It will also allow you to not purchase anything on your own. They will purchase that ticket for you. By the time when you have already figured out that, they would already send you the flight tickets into your email itself. That is what makes OpenClaw such a successful open source AI model. Now, if it's just us that is saying about OpenClaw, then it might not be so fruitful. But all the names in front of you in terms of tech giants and crypto platforms as well, these do not need additional information or introduction. Why? Because you know all of them. Google, Nvidia, Tencent, Baidu, Shopify, Binance, OKX, Bybit, BitGet, Krypto.com. These are all huge platforms. So with that being said, we are also utilizing the next level technology available to us, which is OpenClaw, to capitalize on the arbitrage opportunities within prediction platforms. Why? Simply put it this way. I need to sleep. You need to sleep as well. AI agents do not need to sleep. And if I don't get enough sleep, I'm bound to have human errors. AI agent takes that away out of the equation as well. Hence why we're utilizing OpenClaw. All right. So this is the integration and operating principle of the three core capabilities, which is the prediction market, the OpenClaw technology that we are currently utilizing as well, and also NodePay, our data sentiment collection point. Why? Because of all three of these core capabilities, then came Orca. With Orca itself, we're here to do one thing, which is this. Data itself does not create value. Only when AI can understand it and execute it, can it form a true closed loop profit capabilities. What do I mean by that? This is what I mean by the calculation and the explanation of what Orca is really doing with its technology. Before we look on the left side, I want you to focus on the right. On the right itself, today, there are two specific criteria if we are looking for this arbitrage opportunity. The first criteria is very simple. The first criteria comes in when you find two different platforms having the same question. For example, today, will Desmond be late to this meeting? 2 minutes is still considered late. But if I can find these specific questions on Polymarket and 𝗺𝗁𝗺 as well, I can then find an opportunity for arbitrage. What do I mean by that? Very simple. The second criteria is this. As you can see, on Polymarket and on 𝗺𝗁𝗺, there is different ratio towards the yes and no that is being answered towards the same question. Why? Same thing with an iPhone and a Samsung. If you have an iPhone and you have a Samsung, you are basically a user on both platforms. But there are individuals where they are only utilizing iPhones and they are only in the iPhone user database. And there are some individuals that are only using Samsung, which will only be in the Samsung database. Polymarket and 𝗺𝗁𝗺 have their very own user base as well. So let's look at this. Platform A, Polymarket. The yes over here in terms of Desmond will be late for this meeting is at 80 cents. No is at 20 cents. For 𝗺𝗁𝗺, it's at 71 cents and 29 cents. Like I've said it before, it's a player-to-player basis. So whenever there is different user base, different human mentality and sentiment that is involved, there will be a different ratio when it comes to the yes and no's. We are not here to let you understand that, yes, Desmond will be late. Click on yes. No, we're not here to do that. The arbitrage opportunity that we're currently utilizing is picking a yes on one platform and a no on another platform. It can be vice versa as well. However, the ratio that the sense of the yes and no added up together has to be lower than 1. What do I mean by that? Let us take a look at this example in front of us. If we were to take platform A's Polymarket's yes at 80 cents and pick no from 𝗺𝗁𝗺, which is at 29 cents, that is more than $1. And with that being said, we will not be able to utilize these two options for arbitrage opportunity. We've done the calculation before. We ran it through AI 1,000 times before. It just does not work. You will not be able to be in profit. All right. However, let's take no from Polymarket, which is at 20 cents, and yes from 𝗺𝗁𝗺, which is 71 cents. Add them up together, we get a total cost of 91 cents, which is lesser than $1. This is our criteria to achieve before our AI agent executes on the next step, which is how much should I place in yes in 𝗺𝗁𝗺 and no on Polymarket in order for me to guarantee a return of my capital with a small amount of profit. All right. Now let us move to the left side over here right now. Understand this, we have already figured out that we have a total cost of 91 cents. And our capital right now that we're using in this example is at $10,000. Platform A, how do we figure out how much of this $10,000 should we put into no on Polymarket? Simple. Take 20 cents, divide that by our total cost, which is 91 cents, which will bring the figure up to 22%. And 22% of $10,000 is at $2,200. For platform B, which is 𝗺𝗁𝗺, take 71 cents divided by the total cost of 91 cents and times it by 10,000, you will get $7,800. Is that all? No. Right now, we have to figure out if I put in $2,200 into Polymarket, how much of a share would I be taking from this amount? How do we get that? Simple. Take $2,200 divided by the cost that is currently needed for per no on Polymarket, which is 20 cents, and you will find 11,000 shares on your current bet using $2,200. Every share has a settlement value of $1. So that means if Polymarket wins with the no, I'm still getting $11,000 back. On platform B itself, take $7,800 divided by 71 cents, you would come up to a total of 10,985 shares, which is likewise $10,985. Do you see where I'm getting with our technology over here? Our arbitrage opportunity is not here to make you a multi-millionaire over a couple of days. We're here to guarantee you that your capital will be returned to you and you will still be in profit. That is what we're guaranteeing over here. That is what we're making stable over here. Okay? Now, by utilizing price differences across different platforms for hedging arbitrage, profits can be locked in regardless of the outcome, because I have really picked yes on 𝗺𝗁 and no on Polymarket. Regardless of whichever one that I get, I am still getting my capital back and profits. Okay? So that's the simple calculation over here with our technology. But let me ask you this. While I was explaining this to you, how long did that take? 5 minutes? 7 minutes? 5 minutes and 7 minutes in the prediction market itself means that there is already a change in the ratio. Why? Because there will be more people that is coming in, wagering on this question, maybe placing it on no, maybe placing it on yes, which will then tilt the yes and no probabilities. That is why it is so volatile. And in a volatile market itself, that is where yield opportunities becomes more and more obvious. And with that being said, we have to be direct, we have to be quick, and we have to have zero human errors. That's why we're utilizing OpenClaw as our AI agent. All right? Now, in front of you is 4 subscription packages that is available on Orca right now. Eden, Oracle, 𝗺𝗀𝘀𝗁, and Apex. Eden itself is a 10-day trial package. For every single account, you will get one chance to try on this Eden package and get, well, daily returns of about 0.2 to 0.3% per day. However, if you've noticed, there is a check-in bonus over here. On our system itself, once you have already linked your MetaMask, Trust Wallet, whatever it is, you will then be able to log into our system and click on the check-in bonus, which would allow you to get 50% on Eden, which would bring the total daily return all the way up to 0.45%. On Oracle itself, 50% as well, which brings a total up of 0.6% per day on a 90 days period. 𝗺𝗀𝘀𝗁, you are going to get 75% extra on that check-in bonus, bringing it up to 0.875% a day. And of course, Apex, with a 360-day period, the check-in bonus here is 100%, bringing 0.6% per day all the way up to 1.2%. Now, is there anything that you need to do while you click on the check-in bonus? The answer is yes. This check-in bonus requires you to answer one question. That's all. Why are we answering the question? Because even on our platform, we are also collecting data for our mother company. That's why we have the check-in bonus. That's why we have one question that requires you to answer, and you will get an additional bonus over here. Now, some of you might be asking me already, how are you able to put 1.2% out there on a daily basis and still be able to survive? This calculation here has already shown you that it can work. Why? $10,000, 1%, let's just use 1% as an easier range. 1% is $100, but on this wager itself, we have already gotten $1,000. There is room, there is a piece of that pie for everyone over here. So don't worry about that, okay? Now, just to give you a more clear picture on the features over here, the whole board across has already been mentioned above. I just want you to focus on the features. Eden, once again, it's a one-time experience, no entry barrier. What do I mean by that? $100 and above, and you will be able to join in on all of these subscription packages. Okay? Now, You can put in 101, you can put in 117, you can put in 125. As long as it is a whole figure, you will be fine. We do not take decimal points. That's it. All right. So Oracle itself, it's a sustainable contract. What do I mean by that? 90 days later, you can take your capital back and you will have an additional 54% on top of that as well. Axiom and Apex, 180 days, 360 days. On Axiom itself, you are looking to double your money in 3.5 months. Apex itself, it's in 2.5 months itself. Now, this figure is insanely high already. Why? Compare it to the traditional markets. Compare it to the banks. Let us not even compare that anymore. As I say it, I feel ashamed of speaking of it. So let's not speak about that anymore, okay? Now, the other thing is, how does your profit from all of this return of all of these daily returns, how do they go into your wallet? The answer is it goes directly into your wallet. What do I mean by that? Over the course of a day, there is going to be multiple questions that you will be joining in, utilizing our AI agents, figuring out the criteria and executing the wagering options over there with all of our fundings. So as long as that question comes to an end, that profit will be directly sent in over to your wallet that has already been tied with the system. Are we clear? There is no more clicking to claim button. There is no more T+1 day in terms of a delay for your profits or for you to withdraw. So this goes directly into your wallet, so you don't have to worry about it. The only thing that you have to remember is on a daily basis, you have to check in for that maximum profit, okay? So that, whatever I've just mentioned is mainly for individuals that are looking to join in as an investor. Now, what about the leaders that we're looking at? I'm pretty sure you are more than well-versed in terms of a leader over here. So let me make this a little bit bigger and okay. Introducing to you the marketing development plan, all right? Over here, as you can see, there is the user rank and Orca 1 all the way to Orca 9. All right. Oops, sorry. I'm just gonna. Oh, here we go. So there is a few major advantages with the development plans in this marketing plan itself. Okay. First thing first, self-investment. It's a very straightforward thing. If you want to climb the ranks, there has to be an amount that you need to put in yourself. As you can see, we're not here to stop you from growing because even the self-investment itself, it is looking at a very low point of $100 all the way up to Orca 2, $500, $1,000, $5,000 on Orca 5, and you can already enjoy all the benefits that is showcased in front of you. With that being said, the second criteria is the weak zone requirement. Now, I'm going to use legs as an example, okay? Today, I myself have 5 different legs working under me. My strongest leg is currently standing at 100,000. All right. My second, third, fourth, and fifth leg are all at about, let's say, 80,000. All right. 80,000, 80,000, 80,000, 80,000. That brings us to a total of 320,000. That is what we call the weak zone requirement. It is the accumulation of all the weaker zones besides your strongest leg. And if, let's say, like for the example that I've just given you, if you have already have your self-investment of $1,000 and the weak zone requirement of $300,000, you will be at rank 4 of Orca. All right. Now, one thing that I want to bring up, as I've mentioned this weak zone requirement, did you hear me mention anything along the lines of if you are Orca 4, you must have Orca 3, you must have Orca 2s and all that kind of stuff? No. Today, it doesn't matter if all of your weaker zones come from Orca 1 or users. They are all accumulated up so that you can still enjoy the gap between the ranking bonus of 40% to 10% or 40% to 5%. That is the beauty of our marketing development plan. All right. For the ranking bonus itself, I'm not going to talk too much about it because it's just literally 5, 10, all the way up to 70% of whatever that you can earn from your whole team from the whole daily return of whatever your volume of your team is currently bringing in. Okay? The next column itself is going to be the global bonus. What do I mean by that? Let's say the company itself currently had a profit of $6 million in this month. In that $6 million, 3% of that is going to be taken out and given to the Orca 5 leaders. That means 3% of 6 million, you're looking at about 180,000. 180,000, and let's say that the Orca 5 leaders, let's say there's 10 of them. Then each and every one of them will be getting $18,000. That's it. If you are in Orca 6, you will only take Orca 6 global bonus. 7, 8, 9, same thing. You will only be entitled to your current rank's bonus. Okay? The same rank bonus is here to give the leaders a benefit in terms of rank clashes between your upline and your downline as well. That's why we have the 10% over here from Orca 3 and above. Okay? This is what I am here to introduce to you. This is what I'm here to explain to you. It is very simple.
I'm going to go ahead and sign up and connect my wallet. A MetaMask wallet. And confirm it. Came back up like that. Here's MetaMask. Got my name right there already. Okay. Wait a minute. I think deposit right here. Let's do a deposit. Tether USDT. You also have USDC coin. Can I pause at 206 because they don't take change. Amount to deposit 200. 205. Make it even 205. Deposit USDT. Confirm. Successful. Confirm. There it is. Wicked fast. I like that. Now, what I do? Trade. Try this. No? Okay. Yeah, so it's day one. Today's day one of this program. So it's in pre-launch. Just for a week though. So what you want to do is you want to get your money or whatever it is that you're going to put on here, whatever you're going to use. Then when it opens up, you get to pick out those different levels. You know what I mean? And for like 10 days, 90 days, and 180 and 360, I think it was. And yeah, that's when it goes live, that's when you pick that, and then we're in. So in the meantime, it just gives you a chance to spread the word around and to show everybody. Should be the first ones in on this project. Like I said, it's day one. Some awesome projects are starting to come out that I've been researching, and they'll be coming out back to back all of a sudden. And that is some serious projects here. It's not like the regular ones that I usually do. You know, project lasts, and they usually do a rug pull, close it down or something. But this is long term. The last three projects are long term. And of course, my number one is really long. and I should be getting fruits of my labor for that, for waiting on that the next couple of months, and you'll start seeing some awesome stuff from that project as well. But in the meantime, I'm out there looking all the time. The last 6 months, I know I haven't been making no videos. I've been in projects only lasted like shit, anything from like 4 weeks to like 6 weeks, and I was in and out of those real quick. And 6 months ago, the whole crypto program atmosphere was just pretty horrible. And that's why I didn't make a lot of those any videos like that, because it wasn't worth it to show you guys. But these projects I'm coming across now, there's a couple more that I'm looking at that are really good, and they are worthwhile, and they're for the long term. Definitely for the long term. All the ones I've been showing you so far, that's the route I'm going. This is what I'm doing. And you can do whatever you want, but the information is out there. Just check on my channel all the time. Check the notes as well. Don't wait for a video all the time. I usually put notes out before I make a video. And later on this summer, I'll be working on a website. And maybe I'll start an email list first. That way I can get on my email list. I can send you out what I'm going to be doing, what I'm going to be videoing, what I'm going to be going into before I even make a video. That way you're ahead of everybody else. And so keep that in mind. That's just some things I'm thinking about in the works this summer. But in the meantime, take a look at this. This is day one. You're right here. Just connect your wallet, load the platform up. Come June 6th when it goes live, pick what it is that you want to get into, and just let it go. Just let it fly. Okay? Until the next exploration, I'll see you here at the Crypto Matrix.